men could just get in a barbershop and have man talk. And not just man talk on a level, we just talking to talk, but having some type of conversation where we can stimulate resources and solutions. And that's the main focus for tonight. So you all have been handpicked to be here. This is not by coincidence, because we need your innovative minds to keep this movement going. You all have been in the community for years upon years before probably Mr. Green even existed or myself even existed. So we need the older crowd and the younger crowd to come together for more solutions. So get started. My name is Don. Welcome to Man on a Mission Mondays. Give it up for yourselves for being here. Man on a Mission Mondays. This is our second Man on a Mission Monday. We are ecstatic and super excited. What we're going to do is we're going to take this all around Chicago. Then we're going to take this all around Illinois. And if we really act up, we're going to try our best to take this all around the world. So please feel free to chime in. I'll point your way, your direction when it's time for you to jump in the conversation. Trust me, the weather outside right now, but some more people, if they fall in, they're going to take their place, and you know, they're going to pitch into the conversation well. So let's get started with the prayer. Mr. Kenji, that's it, right? All right, good stuff, good stuff. Please come in and lead us with prayer real quick.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
All stand up. Father God, we just thank you for this opportunity that we can come together on one accord, Father God. This is a man on a mission, Father God. But as men, Father God, of destiny, Father, we just ask that your spirit be upon us, Father, that you enlighten us, Father God. Let this talk, Father God, not only bless the world, Father God, but glorify you, Father. Let us be filled with your spirit. Let us be filled with your love. And let us unite together, Father, as we do this thing called worship, fellowship, and praise. In Jesus' name, amen and amen.
Amen. Ashe. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. All right, we're going to ask some questions and we're going to get started. But before we get started, I'm going to bring up, did you want to come up or you mean none other than Mr. Green, Mr. J. Ball Green? Put your hands together.
First of all, thank you so much for everybody for being here. This was born out of the fact that over the last few months since we started our housing counseling agency and helping folks become homeowners, the vast majority of those people have been women. Actually, over 4 million that we moved forward in loans over the last few months, one person was a man. Wow. Just one. And we can go all the way down the line. We really understand systemic problems and that have affected us in the communities for so many years, for decades. Why we have been oppressed for many decades as well. But we know that right now, at this time, we have the power, the resources to be able to get folks to understand, men to understand that we can take our rightful places in the community, own something, right? We must own land. If we do not own, we will continue to be displaced. We will continue to have poor education for our children. We will continue having all of the problems that we have in these neighborhoods right now today. And the only way to change that is if we have a stake in the community and we own something and we build families. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So this was born out of that fact that our women are stepping up and have been for many years. Clap it up for our women who have been taking care of the communities for decades now. But it is unfortunate that 70 to 80% of Black households are by single mothers, are ran by single mothers. That has to change. Men must re-enter the homes. Men must start to build families. We must start to rebuild the structure in communities if we want to see better children, if we want to see better communities, if we want to see better schools, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what this conversation is about. Today's is about health and wealth. I also want to give a big shout out to my team, my chief of staff, Dona Michi. Clap it up for Dona Michi. We'll clap it up for yourself. It's all working. my team staff, Dona Michi, our project manager, Sister Africa Porter. And the women on my team was like, we don't even really want to be there, but we got to work. Because they really want to make sure that men had the space to have these conversations. So we do appreciate that. As well as the rest of my team, Shanaze Mobo and Chrissy Williams, y'all clap it up. I want to give a shout out to my co-founder and my partner who's not here, George Newberry. Y'all clap it up for George. So we have resources and solutions that we're going to be moving forward with everybody at the end of this, for everybody to be able to take advantage of. But we want to at least have this dialogue and talk about what some of those solutions look like. I'm going to pass it back over to Don.
Good stuff, good stuff. Thank you. Give it up for Mr. Green one more time. Mr. Green. All right, so check this out. We're going to ask you a few questions, and tonight we can talk about, you know, the problems like we always do. There's many problems, but tonight we're going to talk about the solutions. We're going to ask questions. You're going to help us with solutions. We're going to come up with resources, and we're going to pour them back into the community. All right, that sound like a plan? Yeah. This is the first question that we have. Self-care. What does that look like for a man? Self-care. I'm gonna start off light before we get deep. Self-care. What does that look like for a man? Now, women, they got the spas. You know, women, they got the they could go talk to moms. Women got a lot of this stuff. They go shopping, get their nails done, all that. What does self-care look like for a man? Anybody want to take this? Let me start off with the young brother first. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm 19 and stuff like that. I don't really know what else to say, but personally, from personal experience and from what I've seen, self-care for a man is doing things that you are comfortable in your own skin doing. For me, that's playing basketball, working out, you know what I'm saying, maybe going fishing or something like that. For other men, it might be doing yard work. It might be, you know what I'm saying, just getting up, as simple as getting up and showering, grooming yourself, going clothes shopping for yourself, making sure you feel comfortable within your own body, and doing the habits that you do that you know what I'm saying, will build your confidence within yourself. Whether that's, oh, I'm gonna dress nice today and stuff like that, because that makes me feel like of value, that makes you feel good, it makes you feel I'm doing something right. Or if I'm finna go work out, I'm finna do something progressive, you know what I'm saying, so I know that I'm a better person at the end of the day. Or whether that's just getting in touch with God, whatever it is to make yourself comfortable with, feel like you better in yourself.
Good stuff. 19. That's 19. I wish I knew what self-care was at 19. Somebody else want to take this question? Yes, sir.
So self-care for me is just waking up in the morning, starting my day off with prayer and meditation. You know, like the brother said over there, it's all about exercise. Make sure you take care of yourself, supporting yourself, loving yourself, rearranging your circle is very important.
Wow.
The people that you have around you, you know, you have to monitor what you say and what you do on a daily basis, because people are watching. You know, so I'll give a little selfish plug. I started a clothing line called Self-Love, and the reason I did that because it's about me evolving as a man. You know, growing up, I just had boyish ways. Even still, as a man, I had boyish ways, and I had to learn how to mature in my walk and in my life, my journey. So, able for me to teach anybody else, it's like, hey, I gotta look within myself and transform myself from within. You know, so self-love for me is just coming here, like come get my hair cut, get my feet done too. I do all that. You know, but also it's all right to go out on days by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Take care of yourself. Don't look at it like, oh man, I'm a lame for doing this. Take your own stuff out to eat. It's okay.
Yeah.
Because in due time, the more you love yourself, the more you'll be able to love the next person to come into your life.
Yeah.
You know, because right now, by being the vessel that we are, we might bleed out on the person that really needs our help. You know, we're not even healed on the inside yet. Yeah. So take the time to heal yourself. That's what self-love is about.
That's stuff. Okay. All right, we're gonna move on to the next question. I'm excited about this circle because even though you're answering these questions, you're teaching the brother next to you how to be a better man. We got so many questions inside of us because the majority of us, we didn't have no dad. We didn't have no big brother. And the majority of us, our big brothers was out in the streets and we didn't have no role model. So something just as basics of young man, how do you take care of yourself? Because I'm lost. Our whole identity or mindset of how to be a man has been so contorted You know what I'm saying? So it's good to put things back in alignment. Let me move back to, did you want to grab this before? Yes, sir, King. There you go.
What's your name, Brother? Brother Reuben Fellows. I'm Geraldine's son. And it comes in different tiers. So if you're on the front line at war, it's hard to go play basketball and have a good time when our people go play basketball and do those things in self-care. And this is the history of brothers and activists and doing the work. You're so busy helping everybody else, there's no time, but the war gets harder, the numbers get lower. So brothers that have time to get out like that and they're trying to kill us, I praise you, but we're at war. And so sometimes when they shoot them bullets at you and throwing at you 24 hours a day, 1,000 killed, 80% Black people, and then a whole year of murder. If you're out there on the front line, Jamal and them hitting it with 16 shots, it's hard to know about self-care, but that is one of the destruction of Black men. Self-care when you're at war.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Good stuff, good stuff. Next question. Can I move on to the next one? I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you grab the next one though. How does spirituality play a part in being a man? How does spirituality play a part in being a man?
No, it's actually kind of piggybacks on the last answer from my brother over there. It goes back to self-love and love, period. Whatever you put first is your God. So I believe a lot of Black men, including myself, I'm not perfect. I gotta rearrange things on a daily basis. We're out of order. So the younger generation, they have slogans, money over everything. You don't know what you're doing, you put money first. Put things back in order. It should be God, family / self, so on and so forth. Black men, we don't love ourselves enough. We put it to the side because of our love for our family. So many brothers in the penitentiary, for example, because they sacrifice themselves to put things on the table for their family to an extravagance for the most part. And then it turns around and hurts the family. It's a revolving door because we are out of order with love for ourselves. And that's a spiritual thing. At the end of the day, if you don't love yourself, you don't love God.
Does somebody else want to take this one? Who else? There you go, King.
Thank you. How's everybody doing? I think that spirituality is important because it's important for our spirit to be balanced. But the act of, balance is an everyday thing. And, when it comes to spirituality, we talk so much about, the masculine energy and the feminine energy, but we're always in that at all times. It starts up here with our thoughts and our ideas and our memories and things that we want to create. That's that feminine energy. Then when we take it into our hands and then we build things and actually construct projects and such, that's the masculine energy. And it always works. It's supposed to always work in harmony together. But in our community, sometimes we have an imbalance of that. Like going back to what the brother was saying about, raising our family, sometimes we feel a hyper masculine sense of that, to be so tight into raising our families and coming from that perspective that we don't always be able to tap into the feminine energy that we might think is not important. So spirituality is very important for Black men. I just want to say that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Give it up to the brother. Give it up to the brother. I'm gonna close out on this question. You want to grab before I close out? There you go, King. Is how does spirituality play a part in being a man?
Well, the scripture said, when I was a child, I spoke as a child, and when I became a man, I put away childish things. So you're looking at a person right now. So if it wasn't for my spiritual upbringing, I wouldn't be the person who I am today. I'm a server. I love to serve my community. That's what I'm all about. Brother Reeves said it. I don't have time for basketball. I love basketball and other things, but I'm on the battle. I'm on the battle. And when you're in the war, you're not only praying, you're fighting too. Because I've seen so many people in this life that say they're in the war, but they don't fight. They pray and lay down and sit down. So that's not, if you're in the war, you have to fight
Is that right, Brother Reeves? So that's what I'm about, fighting. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, sure. Go ahead, King.
Yeah, and to go off what you're saying, you're right about that. It's all about iron sharpens iron. And we don't have that structure. We don't know how to reach out to the next brother. You know, God made us to have dominion over the earth, but we lost that. You know, we lost that because we let other things hinder us from our growth. So it's all about growth and development, and see how we can move to the next, and how we can pull the next brother or the next female into what God's calling us to do. So like, it's all about fellowship. It's all about fellowship. It's all about structure. What is your structure like? What is your household like? You know, you could be the first person to change your whole family. You never know. You could be the first millionaire or billionaire in your family, but it's up to you to go out there and decide for the next individuals out there that's hurt. But be willing to go out there and talk to the person. Don't be afraid that they might reject you. As long as you plant that seed in them, it's going to grow. You know, it's about planting seeds and watering that seed. So they might reject you for a minute, but that seed is planted inside them. So just keep doing what you're doing. Keep watering.
Give it to him. Listen, I'm going to give this Chef Lee. Can you close this question out for me, please? Good stuff.
All right. What I believe a man has to go through to have that spirit, he has to have a positive spirit for self. He has to build self. He has to surround himself around positive interactions, people, places, and things, including his food. I'm sure I should know that. Your spirit can come from your food. You are what you eat. You eating on a healthy level can give you enough energy, spirit to motivate yourself to get up out the bed and do something with your life. So I'll take that as my solution. Like, your spirit can be in what you eat. And if you're eating, electrolyte-based foods, then you have great energy. You need to keep that in you. That your own diet, your own menu, you need to really look up what's healthy for you in order for you to survive and have enough spirit to get up out the bed. All right.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I want to tell you all something too. Your spiritual connection is your compass. Being a man ain't no it ain't no hop, skip, and a jump. It's gonna be some times where you lost and you don't know your left from your right or your up from your down. Daddy ain't got the answer, or mom. You got to go back to the manufacturer, because only your God can direct you on how to listen. Just because you got the answer, it might not be time to say it. So that spiritual component tells you when to move, when to sit still, when to talk, when to shut up. Just because you got the strength don't mean you need to flex. So being a man has a lot to do with time as well. Let me move on to the next one. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm excited, man. Listen, when Green said we was going to do this one, I said, do you feel me? We got to do ASAP. All right, cool. I wanted to introduce Will. Will is going to be talking about, he's a financial coach, and he's going to be talking about the financial component of being a man. Mr. Sadiq, we needed you. He's going to be talking. He's an expert where the herbs and the health component is concerned. So a lot of the information, because today is entitled Health and Wealth. Chef Lee, he's a chef. He knows pretty much what we need to cook and what we need to stir up to make sure that we're getting what we need to get as men. So I may pull on you three a lot tonight. So I'm not trying to be a bad guy, but we need you. The next question is, what happened to a man that never cried? What happens to a man that never cried? Anybody want to answer that?
He's dead.
Wow.
He's dead. No emotions. None. That's not a man. To me, I've had those dark moments that I had to cry. Like you said, you just have to go to God.
Yeah.
So when I see a man that never cries, he has no emotions, he has no feelings, I am afraid of him.
Wow.
Simple as that.
I'm gonna hand it over here, King.
A man that never cries, his kids or his family cries. The energy doesn't dissipate. He's gonna take it out on them somehow, some way. He's gonna be tough on the exterior, but he's gonna be too tough. People around him and the ones he loves.
I think, you know what, I'm a vegetarian, so I'm a veggie back. I won't picky back, I'm a veggie back. It's that balance you need as a man. As you grow up, it's raw. That ain't all that a man has to offer. Just as hard as you're a disciplinarian, you need to be twice as hard as loving. When I was growing up, I don't understand this new generation. You repeating yourself to the kids 100 times. Would you please sit down? Can you sit down now? Would you listen? Please. And then what happens is you get frustrated. Now you hit the kid, but you hitting the kid out of frustration. Now it's abuse. My mom and daddy if they cut their eyes, you know, game over. And if they just give you that nod, you getting it not even when you get home, on your way in the car home. It's a new generation. Who else? Anybody else want to take this question? Here you go, King.
The science is this. They remove the men out the village, and then they tell you, be a man at an early age, step up. Men don't cry. You've heard this, the whole teaching, don't cry. Then you raised by a woman. It's not against the sisters. And you become emotional. You act like the women you're around. But what's really devastating is when you're a young boy and you get mistrust, that heart gets hardened. The heart gets hardened. It gets hardened. Now he's about 16, taking that pain with no men to help him knowing how to exercise. And he operates on his mother's emotion. Now he ain't crying because he's man up paying the bills, while he's selling dope and doing things. So he can't cry because when our community, when you call crying, you're vulnerable for execution. So we have a different dynamic. And so when you begin to get that, I have a problem with it now, trying to deal with where to cry at. When do you let your battlefield down? Because as soon as you do it, you're vulnerable. And then people come at you. So our young men are dealing with that hard, getting hard. So by the time we get to them, where were you at when I was being beat? Where was you at when I was being misled? Why didn't you protect me as a man? So when young men start to talk to old men, get on with here, old dudes. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm handling this business.
Good stuff. Anybody else want to take it?
Let me say, this is why it's so important, right? Or why we're doing things like this. Because the reality is we need to have more men and more folks around that we can have a shoulder to cry on or somebody to talk to. That's one of the biggest problems. He just talked about it. My mama raised me. And it wasn't if I cried, you know what my mama said, men don't cry. You know what I'm saying? Man up. You the only boy in this house. You the only man in the house. So you got to look after your sisters and me. Man up. So who was I supposed to be vulnerable with? You know what I'm saying? Who was I supposed to tell my feelings to? So we need more, it wasn't until I got to mentorship when I was a teenager to where I had men was like, man, I'm gonna just take him. I had a mentor who was like, I'm taking him to camp with me, to all boys camp. I went to Simba camp, Safe in My Brother's Arms, where they taught you how to be vulnerable with your brother. They taught we had pain fire and you had to go in and put your pain in there and we hug you. And we showed emotion as men together, nobody here but us. And it took for me to have other brothers like, man, we all are, we all have emotions, we all are going through things and we can depend on each other. So we need more of that today. I wish I could send every one of these brothers out in the community to a camp like that, because they do have it bottled up and they don't have nobody to be vulnerable with. I was lucky to be able to meet somebody like my better half who grew up with brothers who understood, hey. who taught, you know what I'm saying, or there to say, no, it is okay, right? I know what you're going through. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to feel what you feel. So we got to have that camaraderie against brothers. We got to make sure we're picking the right person to go home to. All of that matters so that we can start unpacking this man.
All right. I'm going to ask this question. How early is early enough to educate your family about wealth? And what does that look like?
I will. Start us off.
Go ahead. You got it.
All right, now I'm new, so I need to know the rules. Can I answer a question with a question?
Listen,
Is that okay?
you can do that. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. So if you're walking through the desert, you're tired, you're thirsty, you're wandering, you're about to give out. When's the best time to plant a tree?
Now.
20 years ago.
Wow.
Now here's the most important question of this question.
Go ahead.
When's the second best time? Right now. There's nothing wrong with educating, teaching, informing people about what's possible immediately. I was at there's a group that teaches young entrepreneurs in the city about entrepreneurship, starting, running, finishing a business. And they said the best thing about that was something called informal education, right? We got formal education, textbooks, quizzes, you know about that stuff. So what's informal education? That's learning about things, but in an informal setting, where you just realize what's possible. It's not a big deal, it's just possible. And what that looks like is having a business on a corner, having an uncle and aunt who does something successfully, having a mom or a father sit you down and just have a conversation so that you just know certain realities are reality. When you're hidden from things and you don't know what's possible, it doesn't exist.
Wow.
So just asking the question, showing somebody, being around it, educating as soon as possible, as soon as you learn English, right? Or whatever that language might be. Why not? Why not? You learn how to breathe, you learn how to walk. And everybody has to deal with wealth or lack of it. Why not have a conversation?
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. You know, I like what you said about right now, because I understand that everybody, do we understand that children are like sponges? It's a lifestyle. You know, what he said was it could be informal. Kids don't listen to what you say, they watch what you do. They don't. They watch what you do. And the main reason we're having so much struggle in the community because these kids can't be what they can't see. We got people yelling at this. That's abuse. I don't care nobody self. All day, shut up. Sit down. Now they got to a point where the kid turns around and everything they do, they yelling. What's up? It's like, bro, just say hello. Like, we ain't even go. But it's taught behavior. At a young age, I'll tell you, what does it look like getting started? Do anybody know the importance of credit history? Like credit history. Like when you signing up for a credit card, or you know, there's a component on this chart and it talks about payment on time, and your payment on time it ranks 35%. Like these lenders are looking at this. What's your debt to, not debt to income? What's your balance is? Whatever your limit is, utilization divided by 3, and that's your limit. If you go over that, that impacts you by 30. But it's something on that says credit history. I forgot a question. I think it's 15% or 10%. What's that chart?
I want to say something.
It's like 15, but it's high. But the point that I'm making is these banks are looking at how long have you had some type of line of credit established. Now, if you can put the cable bill in your daughter's name at 2 years old, or your son's name at 2 years old, and default on it, and now that cable bill don't follow him or her all the way up to 50 years, you can surely make one of your kids an authorized user. Then you have to play games like you have to make it normal. Like prime example, make your kid an authorized user. And this is you're talking to somebody that don't have kids. I hear people like, you ain't got kids. You don't know what you're talking about. I know a little something. But the point that I'm making is make one of them kids an authorized user. Now, you have to show your kid that life is business. And you got to say, hey, you know what? You got $100 on this credit card. You divide that 100 by 1, and you got $90 on this credit card. You divide that 90, you got 30. Do what you want to do with that 30. Now, when you all go to the store and he picks up something, all right, no problem. So if you got 30 and you spent that, what's your new balance? All right, so be it. Now you say to your son, this is your checklist of your chores. And depending on what you, if you're doing your chores correctly, this is how much money you're going to make. And then they take that money. The problem that we have is we just give our kids everything. They come to the store and say, I want, there you go. How are you getting them ready for life? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
First of all, if you defaulting on the cable bill, and I might not even want you to put them as authorized use on your credit card because you probably ain't paying that on time. But let me just say this. It is so important for us to stop living the same comfortable lives for decades. When we are living in communities where families are literally working the same 9 to 5 every day, going to sleep, doing it all over again. And so when you talk about examples, we need more people in the community that take risks, that show the family we can elevate. The family should not be on the same level forever. You get what I'm saying? That's not how no other culture does it. Y'all know how cultures come over here, they have a pool of money, and you get a gas station. All right, we're gonna wait, now you get a gas. They elevate everybody in the family. When you look at white families, the Rockefellers, everybody elevates. No one stands at the same level. We are the only ones that will all work jobs 50 years apiece and be at the same level for 50 years. Don't invest in nothing, don't own nothing. We have to stop that. We have to be examples for our families. So the next generation just happen to be the ones to step up and be like, no, we don't want to do the same thing. But we all have to look at what we're doing in our lives and how we can be examples for the next generation, our legacy, right? What are we leaving behind? If you just working the job for 40 years and, what are you leaving? What are you leaving behind? Most of the people don't even have a life insurance policy. So we already not getting nothing from you because you're gone and your job is not something that is something we looking towards to. Then you don't have nothing to leave us when you leave. That has to change. My children, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 15 because I was like, I want to elevate the family. My kids, when they brag on, they gonna go to a bus and be like, oh, my daddy owned a couple of these buses. Or my daddy owned this. Or my daddy owned the spot. Or look at me and my dad on Billboard. but no, it's we have to inspire. This is what you just said is they need to see something. They need to see something. When I buy something new, I go get my kids. Daddy, what you? Yeah, I'm about this bus. This that. They'll go on a trip. You get what I'm saying? Because when I want them to get older and be able to feel like I can do whatever I want to do in life. There's no cap. There's no cap on me. Like I just got to go get a job like my family. Just go get a regular job. Like, no, you can go build a car. Go build the Amazon. You can't, if Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, and I always said it was black and come from our neighborhoods, 9 times out of 10, they would not be Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. And we have to change their reality. Our kids need to believe that they can be Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos so that they don't just be like, I'm gonna just do something small like print the t-shirts. But we want them to think and be like, we want you to manufacture the t-shirts. I'm gonna just be a painter. No, we want you to have a mass excavation company. We want you to have an environmental company. We want you to be the site utility company, bring utilities to, we want you to be the developer. No, I'm gonna just be a painter, just be a regular carpenter. No, we want you to be a developer. So we gotta change that. And our families to be the example for the next generation so that they can have a mindset that's gonna elevate, not only the family's gonna elevate the community. When we create more millionaires and billionaires in these communities that and you teach them how to serve and give back, we can then start to shape these neighborhoods.
I said no timer for Mr.
Hold on, put me on the time. Put me on the time.
That won't happen no more. Go ahead, Kenny, go ahead.
I just want to add on something that J-Ball said. Our youth can't be what they don't see. Most of us that are successful in this room, we don't live in the community. I'm just keeping it real. Y'all know I tell the truth and shame the devil now. Now, parents, I'm talking to parents, both males and females. Instead of buying our children everything that we didn't have, how about if we teach them everything we didn't know?
Wow. Hold on, I gotta go. Hold on, I gotta go. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
See, the whole problem is, right, that's not taught in our hood. Right. That's not mandatory in our hood. Yeah. And the brothers that know what that's all about don't come to the hood. Yeah. See, that's the problem. When we start getting brothers like yourself who come in and teach us parents, because I wasn't talking that, I was talking about it. Yeah. That's all I was talking. And you got to survive. So that's what my kids saw. So once we get you brothers and educated in that, to come out here and teach us parents, then our kids will. You know what I'm saying? But until that happens, oh man, it's gonna be a 9 to 5 thing. You know what I mean? Credit is not important. Credit's not important in the hood when you getting shot at every day. Yeah, when you trying to eat noodles, that's not important. It's important to eat. I hear what you said. That's not nothing that's mandatory in school. Yeah. That's nothing. You learn about that through TV. Yeah. And it's ridiculous, but you know, we're gonna get it together. Yeah. Good stuff.
We gotta, hey, John,
Can I come to you too?
oh, yeah, you can. Let me just say this. We gotta start. I just wanted to say this simply. We have to start, and what he said is exactly right. We have to bring the education back to the neighborhoods and families to teach families how to get out of survival in the long run and how it's more beneficial than living in survival for decades to come. You get what I'm saying? So the problem is when you're in survival, you want it fast. You know what I'm saying? You need it fast. You need it. We all everybody come from, you know, I think everybody came from hard times, you know what I'm saying? Or experience it. So you need it fast. I was lucky enough, see, while I pushed on my mom because my mom was always going and working the 9 to 5. But what it did was it allowed me to think differently. It allowed me to be the one to say, how am I going to elevate my family out of this and not create the same cycle? You get what I'm saying? And so it's the next generation, the millennials, and really Gen Z, I'm telling you, the next generation of young people, they ain't having this. And they are going to be the brains to really shape our future. And we got to listen. We got to have intergenerational conversations like this in our households and talk about what's important on elevating our family. And we got to do it. We got to do it.
Yeah. I got another question. Just
go ahead with your question.
Cool.
I was absorbing with the brothers.
Anybody else want to add? Go ahead.
I gotta hit this so it makes sense. I grew up in Bronzeville on 43rd Street, where the Great Migration, the first Black millionaire bank, Jesse Bing, with a $10 real estate investment from 31st Street to 51st Street, Black Wall Street all day, the Overton building, nothing but handling business with the number and lotto. Then I was in Chatham with 20 Black millionaires, the grocery stores, Chatham, Seaway Bank, Cabernet Shoes, bowling alley, skating ring, Leon's Barbecue, Curry Barbecue, Saltine, Johnny's Johnson, everybody running things black. But now they went off to college and come back, but this would happen. I have to apologize, but I didn't drop the ball. I don't apologize to the room. They were supposed to teach the next group to teach y'all. The Black leadership has failed on the economic injustice on our young people. And so what we have here, young brothers stepping up to the plate, you're in the DNA of that, but it's a sin before God for that whole Bronzeville millionaire and the whole Chatham, all that money to be rolling And now they didn't pass the legacy down for us to own it. And then Gerard Gary come back and buy the Regal Theater from the elder, Mr. Gardner, from 2 other elders who got in trouble and went to jail for it. And then they beat them up, talking about he crazy when he come back at 27 years old and buy the whole Regal Theater and hold down and can't get no support from the elders or the young people. We're out of our rabbit mind.
I'm sorry, I'm the barber in the room. I hate to sound, this sound like a typical cookie cutter black answer that we've been saying for the last 50 years, right? Let's zoom out and look at the culture though. So the difference between that time and times now is we too materialistic. Analyze the culture, okay? If we was our own country, we'd be the 3rd richest nation in the world. So we spending this much money. I grew up middle class. So I don't have a perspective of money is the most thing that we don't have. So it's the most thing we focus on, okay? We don't have kids right now. Our generation right now, see, a lot of us are older, but the generation that's being raised by these 20-something, 30-year-olds, these kids, their kids are not interested in no jobs or work. They don't have a work ethic. Only thing they know is, I gotta get it, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. Everybody got to hustle. Everybody's selling Fashion Over, selling 3-5s, doing whatever the case may do. Because all of them got the CEO mindset. At the end of the day, if you got all CEOs and no workers, what's gonna happen? So I think we don't have a hustle mentality that we teach our kids, and we too materialistic. It's a double-edged sword when a lot of us are saying, oh, we need more CEOs, we need more on. No, we need work ethics, and we need to stop. Like for me, I'm middle class, right? My mom and my dad, I had the job since I was 11, literally. I never went more than a year without a job since 11. I had to buy my own sneakers all day. I had to work at the cut grass, summertime, wintertime, shoveling snow, get my $80, buy whatever. I go to the hood. Shorties living in poverty, they got Jordans and starters at. You understand what I'm saying? We folks, shorties right now coming into the gas station asking me for change for a blunt. Man, you got I don't know if it might be fake, but you got a $500 belt on. You got $200 shoes on. Where our priorities at? So when we see these commercials and we think the world is imitating us to be black, no, they targeting us because we spending $9 for every dollar they spend on things. We even do it to liquor. Who drink Hypnotic? Everybody gonna say, oh, don't nobody drink that no more. Because we brainwashed. That's a slave mentality. That's what Kanye talking about. We got a hive mentality to the point where you look at us now, we stick together more than any community in the world, in the country. But we have the least amount of unity. 9 out of 10 black people live in what? A black neighborhood. And we got the same problem across the country, the same Chicago problem. Chicago ain't top 20 in the crime and the violence. Look it up. It's a black culture problem that we got, and we bouncing around trying to figure it out because we answer with the same questions we've been answering for 50 years. We're not zooming out and calling it like it is. We materialistic, out of order. We too busy trying to look good, trying to be cool. That's why even NBA players, 86% of them go broke in 5 years. They own businesses. They buy businesses for their friends. What's the one common thing? Their lifestyle. They gotta have a Bentley. They gotta have this. They gotta have that. That's what being black is. You gotta have a chain to be a rapper. $100,000. Our mentality is out of order, for real. And I see it as a barber. I see the shorties coming in. That's why I say it's dangerous what you put first. Money over everything. So it's a double-edged sword because we kind of putting that mentality. When you got a materialistic culture, you can't say CEO this because you gotta refine it. Because when they start putting money over everything, that's what you got, crabs in the barrel mentality.
So let me say this, the basis still of what you said, you're correct. The basis is still the miseducation. And the problem is that the education is missing. Then you have evil white supremacist entities that prey on the fact that we're not educated. That comes the record labels, that come the white CEOs who understand that we can turn these people materialistic based on doing these things, giving these certain people opportunities, making them feel like this is the only way out because they're not educated, right? Because, and the root of that is that our family structure has been broken. See, when we talk about wealth, we got to talk about families. Because if you look at wealth in America, real wealth, they're all by families. We know rich families, Rockefellers, on down. That is how you build real wealth. It is not a, oh, Don got $1 million deal and he's a millionaire and he go on about his business. We got to bring families back together. And that's how you pass that education down. When white families get up and build wealth and build businesses and corporations, their sons take it over or their sons get an investment. Donald Trump got $1 million from his daddy to go get in real estate. He go $1 million, have a good day, son. And he went and invested. So we gotta build family structure back so that we can start building better children and a legacy. And that's gonna come with not spending so much time outside of the home building up everybody else's dream but your families.
Let me ask you this. How many African Americans, not black people, because I'm not even scratch that surface. How many African Americans, Negroes from this country came through a drop of slavery, are on the Forbes list as a billionaire? Outside of entertainment. So that's the grand message we're thinking of right now. So you got Oprah, you got Kanye, you got all these guys. So what we're saying is our stealing is tap dancing, excuse this expression, tap dancing for white folks. To the point, even in politics, we're like, oh man, who our next president, man? Are we gonna get Beyonce, Oprah to run and all this? You gotta look for entertainers to be our leaders. So that's what I'm saying. Culturally, we got to zoom out. Cultural problem. Yeah, mindset.
You can't. I'm gonna tell you something. And I was just thinking about that because as African, as people, period, as men, sometimes what we do, we want to change it just like that, and it doesn't work that way. So, and sometimes we say, well, I didn't have this and I didn't have that. Like you, even though as a man I don't have the finances, I don't have to. My kid does not have to inherit bad habits. I think that's the problem that we're having. We're so traditional that we did it because my daddy did. I don't even understand why he did it, but he did it. And you will understand it one day. Some stuff we still doing it generations and generations at a time, and we don't even understand it ourselves. So a question that I have is, like piggybacking on that, my bad. What are the little steps that we take? It's not the big steps. It's that's your sister, stop gossiping. Because in all actuality, it's so much chaos in our household that you ain't even teaching your kids unity. If your kids if your family don't have unity in your household, how gonna have unity with a man outside on the street?
Unity is the brother here simply waiting for our elder with his cane when he came out the bathroom.
Wow.
That's how you teach that.
Wow. Go ahead. And you know, the crazy part is we're not even doing it for likes on Instagram. We doing it because it needs to be done. When do we but you have to, this is why I take parenting so serious. Shame on you if you don't teach your kids at a young age, you your brother's keeper. Shame on you. I say this over and over again. Sadiq, and I'm so glad that Sadiq is here. Well, I got Sadiq and, other King Sadiq here, both side. I got them both here. They both specialize in health. So the next question is really for you all. But me and him, we met on business, right? And I was talking about this on a radio station yesterday. We met on business. I had no idea that I was going to bump into this brother as many times as I bumped him since we met on business. But what if I put a bad taste in his mouth? Or what if he put a bad taste in my mouth? Just because we didn't operate as brothers, just doing civilized business together. We live in a generation now where everybody's cracking cards and scheming and trying to get over on each other and hustling each other. But it's only because that's what you taught him as a father. Or you did not raise your son and you bailed out, and the only way he could survive, goes right back to survival mode, is he learned, well, I got a scheme to get an upper hand in life. Talk. So I love the idea of Black people, we need to come together. I love the idea of we can all do it in the same house. And I love the idea of look at the Latinos, looking at, but one thing that they operate from is they have the same mindset. And until we start teaching our families, not just our kids, a unity type mindset, no matter who they partner with on the outside, it's gonna be problems. This is a question I got. Oh, did you want to grab it before I moved on? Go ahead, sir.
Uh-huh. The only thing I want to say is that, you know, that is true. You know, the miseducation is real, but the way that our families is operating, we have to continue to bring back love. What I'm doing to play a part in that is working on my relationship with my father, you know, working on my relationship with my younger brother.
Yeah.
I'm realizing that, you know, my dad, he really showed me just how to have a job through all the jobs that he had. But, you know, in like the last 3 years, I've learned about like building my credit and finance. And that wasn't from him. That wasn't from my mother or anybody in my family. And that might be, you know, like the way that it is for a lot of us, you know, and even in our families, some of us have just really bad relationships that make it hard to connect and even get to a point where we want to say, I want to work with you. You know, even right now, my little brother, like, he's not the best to keep a job. You know what I'm saying? He like dropped out of school a while ago, but I got faith in him. So I know that we can do something, but right now, I want to see him do more in himself.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do need to build, but right now he wouldn't be the best business partner.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just the reality of it, you know? And even with my dad, like my father's a photographer, my grandfather is, I do film and all of that. You know? And me and my dad got such a messed up relationship because of his ego that we can't even talk right now. My pops won't even answer the phone for me. And I'm really, that kind of breaks my heart a little bit now because I'm 33 and I'm at this point where I just really want to be on good terms with my dad, because life is short and we can really do some good things together, but we can't because my dad don't really fuck with me right now. And excuse my language, but it doesn't have to be like that. And if we all got on a peaceful term, then we could talk about some other things. I could talk to my pops about, you know, filming his podcast, you know, doing photo work for him and vice versa. But we not on them terms, so we can't make no money together. So that's just kind of, you know, how it is. And that might be, I don't know, but that might be what's going on in a lot of households. My mom knew this dude who killed his brother over a pork chop.
Wow.
What's that about? You know, so it's stuff like that going on.
Sorry about that.
There's a lot of healing that needs to happen with all of the traumas that have been passed down for decades. There's a lot of healing that needs to happen within ourselves and within our families. And that is why we talk about family. It starts right there. We have been our family's been traumatized, and we have all carried on all of the things that they have put in our communities all the way from slavery. We don't trust each other. They tell us don't rent with each other. They tell us don't do business with each other. They make us grow up and we all independent for ourselves, because the mentality that was put in us many years ago that we have yet to heal from and break. So there's a healing needs to happen. My family still got a lot of secrets. I'm sure everybody up in here got families with secrets. Won't even talk and have conversations about some of these secrets because they so hurt about them. Healing has to happen. Once that healing start to happen and we start building better families and we can communicate with each other and love each other, then that's when that next conversation can happen about how to elevate the family.
So listen, we got a few minutes left. I need everybody to be quick. We got a few minutes left.
Let me tell you like this. Let me keep it real with everybody.
I got something I'd like to say.
Brothers like yourselves, you need self-responsibility. These kids out here, these kids out here have, let me tell you, let me give it to you for real. This is the most successful brothers I ever been in the room with that didn't sell drugs. I've never seen this many successful brothers that didn't have some work. So if you have that education and you have that power, man, go share. You know these kids don't get. Go on out there, man. It's time to stop talking, man. I heard you earlier talking about it's time for little steps. No, that it's not time for that. It's time for big steps, man, because we're too far behind. While we tippy toe, these kids steady getting killed out here. These kids steady going to jail. They don't have no hope. They don't see successful brothers like yourself. They don't see that. They see drug dealers, man. They see gangbangers, man. That's all they see. What you expect them to be? I promise you, man. If I was around brothers like yourself, I'd be like y'all. If this is what I saw every day, I didn't see that every day. I was told how to cook coke, shake up dope, go get that bagel, do what you got to do for your brother. So that's what I ended up there. I'm in the learning process right now, and I'm 47 years old. I'm learning from you, brothers. I might be old. These kids need y'all, man. All y'all brothers like yourself, it's an honor to be in this room with y'all, man. I never seen this before in my life.
Hey, man, it's an honor to have you. It's an honor to have you. Go ahead.
Let me do a little solution of where we at right now. And it's a must, brother. And I appreciate your message, brother. It's, again, they dropped the ball. And they're trying to make the young people feel like if they fall, they dropped the ball. I'm 62. They dropped it, didn't leave me none, but I'm trying to pick it up so I can give it to them. But meantime, this is going to be the answer. I'm going to drop it on May 30th, every year, Memorial Day, is Murder City. 1,200 cops, blood run red. Father's Day, Murder City. 4th of July, to what is the Negro, the 4th of July, Frederick Douglass, you find firecrackers and guns, you don't have no independence. Then we go all the way through the summer to Memorial Day, to Labor Day, Philip Jackson. So what we're launching, Brother Jeff, with Chicago Peace Initiative over on 67 Inglewood is citywide. No more South Side, West Side. Y'all has all broken outside. So, real talk is this, and I want to give with Jamal. I'm trying to give y'all something that's been given to me by God and Brother Jeff on his heart. So we're going from Chirac to Jerusalem. I'm going to rebrand the conversation from Jerusalem to Shatosa, all about business. And from Shatosa to Shiloh. Then we're going to do national. I hope these brothers know that May 1st is National Black Barbershop Day. Most brothers don't know that. We're going to love on, continue to tour, have a conversation on health, wealth of Black men. And then February is actually Be Kind to a Black Man month. Most people don't know that. So we're running the calendar. I'm talking solutions, but I'm going to answer your question. Because we're going to get the shooter, the looter, and the shorty that we didn't get to. And these brothers are leading the course, but they all from the block. So stay with me and let me take this mic and give you what God has given me in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding spiritual. Because if you got 1,000 murders, 80% Black on Black crime, 25 years diverse, married, Lori don't get along with the mayor. We don't get along with the mayor. They don't get along. FOP don't like neither one of them. And then the police chief just got a vote of no confidence, and Black officers are resigning right now, and they finna hire Tom and Becky. That's quick on the pistol. So we in a lawless situation. Ain't nobody coming. So what we're gonna do the day before Labor Day, we're gonna have a press conference down at the Great Migration, right there with a suitcase. When we all came here, we love and came here with our God and who we were before we got turned around. So the next day we have a prayer breakfast. But on Memorial Day this year, we're launching 40 days and 40 nights. Love on the Black, put down the guns and love. 40 days and 40 nights. Please put down the gun and rain agape love on the Black Man campaign. That's citywide. So we asking all the Black sisters, we asking Sister Africa and then the women, we challenge them just like the bucket challenge. We want to ask Black women to post nothing but 40 days and 40 nights of loving on the Black man. We asking the pastors in the church, shut the church down on Sunday. adopt a child, adopt one inmate, stop church, and have everybody give that black man a standing ovation inside that church. We asking Big Mama at all senior buildings. She already praying already because I got through with them prayers. We asking her to pray harder. 40 days and 40 nights to rain on her grandson, her nephews, and all them boys. We asking them to hire 1,000 black men. We asking anybody to hire black men. In 40 days, we're gonna hire 1,000 black men. We may not get there, but that's the challenge. We're gonna also go to the streets looking for the shooter. Go find your brother, take him to lunch. Hey man, what you doing? Say something. We asking black women speak to black men because he might be going to kill somebody. If you say hi, it changed the game. So we're gonna ask black businesses, the black women and black men to shop at a black man's business, barbershop, shirt, love on a black man. So we're putting the blueprint together, but I guarantee you, and I feel in my heart, if it's a citywide initiative and what Jamal and them are doing and their group is doing, putting a black man in the house in 40 days and 40 nights, how many brothers can we get prepared to put in a house or buy a house? So we challenging everybody. We asking brothers on the corner, give me a few more minutes because I'm telling you, you don't want to talk here without solution. So when I come, we're gonna come back and we're gonna hit everybody with it. You get in your space, Wild Hunter, K-Town, Old Block, just do what you do. But what's gonna be unique about it, we want you to put a sign in your window sign and say, black man wanted for a job, but not for a crime. So it gets deeper, but I want you to know there's a running calendar of black men. So we're gonna put that together and we want everybody to join us. And one more thing, and I'm gonna close the mic, but that is what we're gonna do. And we're gonna bring that crime down that day because the police ain't coming and we can all get the victory. But we gotta love on that black man. Black women are moving $1.3 trillion buying power and they vote most in office. So sisters, y'all handling y'all business. In the meantime, we got a bullseye on our back. And if y'all don't help us come up, it's a matter of time for that European come see y'all, which he is right now. When you don't like your man, they know you're vulnerable. So we want to go after the shooter, the looter. We're asking brothers on 87th Street. And I'm gonna be asking you people, this is a team, it ain't mine. Brother Jeff Maxwell over there 67th Street. He had the vision, but we're going 40 days. We asking brothers on the corner, if you're doing business, pull your pants up, put your shirt on, clean up your spot, and we're gonna rain some more money on your buckets. So it's a national movement, and we asking the white folk downtown, since you're mad about smash and grab, you need to hire brothers so maybe they don't smash and grab your shit. So we're gonna make everybody in the city, young and old, play a role in resurrecting. But if you don't put that black man in his rightful place, it's not gonna work. So it'll be coming to a theater near you. Thank you.
Give a round of applause. Round of applause. That's what we're about, solutions. I got to bring them. I got to move my next question. This is a question because as men, we're getting older. Well, some of us are. Some of y'all still, I mean, but we're getting older, and some of us, we have families and we wake up early and we get home late. And sometimes what we do to celebrate our children is we want to take them to McDonald's. Tradition, once again, only because we're not educated on what's going to feed our children that's going to bring them life. Now, this is the other part about it. And I don't mean to be graphic at all. But now the older you're getting, you wake up early in the morning. You eating all type of garbage during the day because you're at work. By the time you get home, you're tired and you're sleepy. You and your wife wants to be intimate, but you can't last long. Some of y'all laugh, but it's real. The kids, it goes on and on and on. I want to know, even me, losing hair from your head too early. What are some things that we need to do to better ourselves as men? We're getting on better regimens of eating healthier, working out, where we can not only be healthier for us, but an example for our wives and kids so we can live a long, happy, and healthy life. Can I come to you first?
Thank you, my brother. First of all, let me say thank you, the Greens of the Africa, for invitation. I'm gonna take a couple minutes, make you mad at me, and then pass the mic.
Take your time.
You can have my cell phone, because usually what I'm about to talk about, I get thrown out of the room.
You stay here.
How many people are aware of the psychological and the physiological damage it does on the human body to kill? For instance, if you kill, it has an impact psychologically and physiologically on the body. You familiar with that? This is a scientific fact. If you kill, there's no way you can live and kill to eat. There's no way you can live and kill to eat. And none of you in this room kill to eat because you're all cowards. I said I was gonna make you mad, and then I'll leave the barbershop. Here's what I mean by that. If I put you out in a field and you get hungry, you are not equipped to kill an animal. You see, it's Halloween every day when it comes to your table because you are an herbivore masquerading as a carnivore. But the only reason you're doing that is because you've been colonized into your own view of who and what you are. I'm gonna make it real simple. I'm gonna give you Harvard level science in about 3.5 minutes. If you could take any animal you eat, and if it disappeared from the face of the earth, you could still live and thrive. If a chicken left, if a chicken became extinct, if a cow left, any animal you eat, salmon, for those of us that don't go in the hood anymore, whatever the animal is, you could survive and thrive. If plant life leaves, you and the animal are dead. I'm going somewhere with this. There is I don't care what your TV says, what you were taught, what your doctor tells you, there is no source of nutrition or protein on the planet other than a plant. Because the animal's ass is gone if they can't get to it. I want you to hear me. Because I'm going to give you something you could invoke tomorrow. All of the top 10 lifestyle diseases that kill us. I make black men angry with this. Barbecues have killed more black men than gun violence and COVID put together. So we can talk about all the bloodbaths and pistols, and we can go on and on and on, but you're falling out by the droves based on what it is you eat every day. Heart disease, animals. Diabetes, animals. Cancer, animals. Alzheimer's, animals. I want you to be clear. I'm making factual statements. You can Google it. That's the new thing today. But I want you to be clear that we have been miseducated about what food actually is. And I'm going to say this to the financial conversation. Learn about plants and get yourself some seeds. Because the money in the United States is fiat. That means it doesn't really exist. He knows that ain't my area. And then they tell you can back it up. The thing to do now is get you some gold or silver. But if you're hungry and I got a bar of gold, what's it worth? Whatever the hell I tell you it is, if I got some food. It's a real threshold moment on the planet. And if you don't understand real economics, which is based on controlling, if you cannot feed yourself, somebody's going to always control you. And you can't house enough cows, and you can't find enough chickens, and you can't, but guess how many watermelons you can get from one seed? Because if you open a 15-pound watermelon, there are over 250 seeds in the one watermelon. And so if you multiply the 250 by 250, because every seed is going to see,
God, life, and the elements are exponential. The problem is we've been divorced from them. So what can we do? Nutrition. I'm gonna tell you this emphatically. If you remove the cause of heart disease, you don't have to have it. I'm 51 and I'm disease free. I kicked my doctor's door in. I ain't afraid of nothing. All my levels are below level. You know why they're below level? Because all the levels are based on carnivores. My PSA at 51 don't have to have an exam because it's undetectable. Blood pressure, I average 108 over 60 something. The reason I'm bringing this out is because what is really affecting us, if your grandma was losing her memory, is because she has what's called degenerative brain trauma over time based on the animal protein stuck in her artery. There is no such thing as Alzheimer's if you eat plants. Cauliflower, broccoli, peas, grains, rice, they do not clog arteries. If you don't clog arteries, you cannot have a heart attack, cannot have a stroke, cannot have an aneurysm, you won't have Alzheimer's, and guess what? They got our women out there with fighting breast cancer and you fighting prostate cancer. And the number one accelerator is dairy. So we love ice cream, you want milk, you want all. So I'm just, like I said, I usually get thrown out of homes, but I'm willing to go in. Because this gets left out of the conversation. See, you're gonna chase Wall Street and fall out before you get there.
Can you touch on men's health specifically?
So men. What you are looking for in terms of vitality and what you described in your latter years, the numbers are Black men specifically, 45% of us over the age of 40 have problems with erectile dysfunction. So if you line 10 of us up, it's numbers, 5 can't do nothing. But the reason is because we have been coded and colonized into the idea of what masculinity is, and it's related to food. So the cheeseburger that you're going to eat or the 6-piece from Harold's is actually what's going to keep you from performing at night. You want the steak, but the steak don't love you. So, mental health. The brother talked about it earlier, prayer, meditation, and talked about all that. But the more plant forward you can become in your diet, because I know I don't want to keep the mic too long, because this is a 2-year conversation we're trying to have in 2 hours. All of that. It's even beyond that. Because they pulled the switcheroo, when they came from a cold, barren climate and had to kill in order to maintain some type of function, you came from a place where you could pick an avocado as big as your head, and then they trained you that you got to kill something to eat. That's a whole nother conversation. So men, real men, make your diets plant forward. They relax the arteries, they grow the brain, they give you, and they keep your testosterone producing and moving all throughout life. The idea that we degenerate over time is a false concept. It is an erroneous, false concept based on the fact that you are in a culture that espouses the idea that you have to kill to live. And so, even if you read books on psychology, once it's okay to kill something, it's okay to kill anything. Did you catch that one? It's normalized. So that's why we got the problem in the street. So if you think you got to kill a cow to eat, you ever tried to kill a cow? Anybody here kill a cow? Have you ever watched the video of killing the cow? When you come on now, if you had to do that, but once you work up the psychology to kill a cow, he's next. Long conversation, but it starts at food. So men's health, because I wanna stay on topic, then I'll be done. Be plant forward. Drink more water. Spend time with people because we need to spend time with each other. We talked about that group. You need a group that you can be transparent and authentic with. You don't need the guys that's gonna pretend. We got enough of that. Say, man, something wrong with you. You need a group that's gonna tell you, oh, well, then you need to go get that checked out. Now, see, in my group again, they run. Well, I got a brother right now. He fell out. Heart disease. He's scheduled for bypass surgery. He said, man, at least come to the doctor. And I said, come to the doctor. Went to the doctor. Doctor said, we can ease off the surgery if you listen to what he's telling. Now, I'm a certified trained nutritionist. I'm not a vegan that's running around talking. This is what I do for a living. I work with breast cancer, Alzheimer's, high blood pressure, you name it. But this is not a business announcement. This is a spiritual, physical. What I'm telling you is related to how we also get a leg up. Because we're not living long enough. 80 years is nothing. The planet is too big, there's too much to see, too much to do, and you're talking about 80 years. And then you'll go, and I was raised in the church, so I'm gonna talk about it. You'll go to church, believe or say you believe that somebody lived 639 years, but don't understand how to do it, or say that those were play ages. No, they're not play ages. What you don't understand was the culture that gave birth to 639 years. And if you really read the scriptures and understood it, it starts with veganism. Everything after that is why we decreased. So I'll leave it right there. Be more plant forward. Any questions you got, anything you want to know, we can start right there. You can start tomorrow. Leave the chicken, the fish, the beef, everything out your cart. Your whole, only 10% of what's in the grocery store is actually food. When you go when you see the produce section in the beginning of the store, once you move outside of the produce, you have moved into food-like items. It is not food. Okay, brother.
Hey, give it up to him. Give it up to him. Give it up to him.
Man, I'm going vegan after I eat these pork chops tonight. Look at my girl looking like, yeah, it's pork chops out. Now, what he said is correct, man. And at the end of the day, we have to do better with passing that message back to the education. But the biggest problem with that is access to it, right? So we have to, as leaders, this is something that I'm working on right now, of trying to make sure that we have access to more produce and vegetables and things. So we gonna talk about it. We're gonna let him die.
I got a solution.
You got a solution?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Everybody talking about what ain't in the hood, there's a lot of vacant lots. You want to get real? Because guess what? Food is also free.
Right.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I got some seeds in my house. You can feed your entire block, never have to walk into Whole Foods.
Mm-hmm. Can you give me some seeds for my house? I'm trying to start a garden.
I'm just saying. We got access. We just don't know what to do.
There you go. We got a plan.
Plan.
Right. Okay, go ahead. Sadiq Muhammad.
Yeah. We may close out with you.
Oh, thank you, man. I just, what brother said was just right on point, man. Only thing I can add to that as far as health, if you're in a situation, I would suggest fasting. So fasting is when you abstain from eating anything at all. That's really, really huge. So I know we're talking about even the financial business piece, especially thank you to J. Mal Green. In the African American community amongst us, the brothers, the life expectancy doesn't change based on income and it doesn't change based on education. And we're one of the only groups that actually subscribe to that. So if a white man make more money, he live longer. A white woman make more money, they're smarter, they live longer. It's only one group that the life expectancy is the exact same, no matter if you make $20 million a year or $20,000 a year. No matter if you have a PhD or you got a GED, it's the exact same. And the brother spoke on that, and it's because of the diet. It's because of what we eat. And I just want to add to that, it's because of what we don't eat. So actually taking a break from eating anything. And since the brother brought up the Bible, I'm gonna give you guys this. When you hear in the scripture that Jesus fasted for 40 days and you hear 40 nights. So we've all heard that before, right? So afterwards, he was tempted with what? They give what he was tempted with right after that. What did they say? Brother said, he was tempted with bread. And then what his response was is, man shall not live on bread alone, but every word that proceeded forth from his lips. So since we're in here, we're talking about violence. You can't control what comes out of your mouth if you can't control what goes into your mouth. So we can stop a lot of problems by just not eating. Because guess what? If bro make me angry, what's your name? If Pierre make me angry and I haven't ate all day, I'm gonna deal with that another time. All right, so I just want to give you all that. Thank you for the opportunity.
Listen, these forums that we're having are not wanted, they're needed. Hold on, I'm sorry.
I need 1 minute from my brothers that have not said nothing. All the way in the back.
Go ahead.
Did you want to speak on anything tonight?
Anything.
Sure. Introduce yourself, anything.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Thompson. I did want to talk about what you all were, the conversation you all had earlier about, building wealth. I think a lot of times in our community, we don't realize that there are a number of paths to wealth. We talk about that CEO mentality, but it's very easy to become a millionaire with a trade or vocational skill, right? So making space for people who may have different career paths and not demonizing them or having a religious mentality, I think is really important when we talk about for our entire community.
Yeah, good stuff. Give him a hand of applause. Good stuff.
I wasn't prepared. I was getting the haircut. I remember seeing your face in front of office. Come on now.
Good stuff. Good stuff. There you go, King.
Hey, how you doing tonight? I'm Jabril Porter, 19. I don't know. I've been just soaking in all the information, like a lot of it. I've heard, but it's always good to relearn. Like veggie bake.
You like the most today? Take with you.
I say the health piece from my brother Sadiq, because me and my mom, she grew me up vegetarian, eating fish every now and then. And then as I got to high school, I started eating like meat again, where I started eating meat for like the first time. And as I got out, I started going back to vegetarian and veganism. So like learning like what's good for your body and like the different type of proteins. Like I was watching a video a second ago. It was like protein isn't really protein because it's like different type of proteins in like chicken and then like vegetables, and it's like it affects like all different type of ways of like your body. So and then another like veggie bag, like the labels, how you said I want to say it correctly. You said once you leave out of the produce section, you're
food like
yeah. And then even with like some of the possible meat, like Beyond Meat, some of that is just food like also because everything, the labels is just like real tricky. Like it's a whole nother topic. But
So that's Africa, son. He ain't got nothing to worry about. Listen, I want to say I'm not gonna close out. I'm gonna give to Mr. Green to close out. This code, I need everybody to scan it on their phone. I need you to register for My Turn to Own. Listen, we want you all to be healthy mentally, financially, in any ways you can be healthy. We want you to be healthy. And we want to give you that information that you need daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, and beyond. Green's vision and my vision is to create a community. when you have a community of like-minded people, it's so much easier because now your conversation is the same and you're here back to back to back. I'm going to give it to Mr. Green. Come on up and close us out, please.
Everybody, clap it up for yourselves. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. First of all, this conversation, man, is so important. We do this every Monday at a different barbershop, so that we can really make sure that we bring folks in and have this conversation so we can start to change the mindsets of us. And so that's a part of our solution, right? Part of our solution is obviously, I came and said we need more homes. We need more home ownership. And if y'all see, that we're making that happen, okay? We got folks closing each week on new homes. I got one that's closing tomorrow on a new home on the west side that we've been working with since October. So we change lives by showing people the pathway to home ownership, but giving them resources all the way around the board. We have these conversations. We invest back into communities. Our Council COVID campaign starts next week with my brother Sadiq Muhammad. We're going to have fitness expos every Sunday. We're doing 4 Sundays at the Pullman Center, starting February 6th, where we're going to do a 1-hour workout class. We're going to have produce. We're going to have herbalists. We're going to have, it's all about being pro-health, right? Pro-health, because they always talk about the vaccine. But even if you got the vaccine and you got some of the diseases that you talked about, you're going to still have a hard time fighting COVID. So we got to make sure that we're talking about living healthier lifestyles. So our Council COVID campaign is starting. We're going to do pop-up produce stations around the city and give away produce as well in food deserts and have these conversations. The barbershop conversations are going to continue. So we're doing everything that we can with all the resources that we have to make sure that we're investing back into communities. And we need all of your help, all of your support. We need our men to step up. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I got thousands of clients under my turn to own, and at least 98% of them are women, right? About 98%. And I want to get y'all into the space, make sure y'all are living, being able to have home ownership. I also, outside of my turn to own, teach entrepreneurship with my other company. So ownership is me, of course, ownership and finances, and making sure that we move for issues, solutions to the issues in these communities. So we got to do it. We got to do it together. So my call is for everybody here to take one thing today, take a solution today, implement it in your lives, implement it in your lives, take it back to your family, have a conversation with your family about everything that we talked about. Have a conversation with your kids. We have to spread this information. That health piece is huge, huge. We have to have this conversation. Okay? Love each and every one of y'all. We're gonna do a picture. We're gonna do a group picture. We're gonna make sure we got everybody information. I want y'all to know everybody that's here today, make sure y'all know each other as well, and spread that information. Let's build this network. Let's keep this going. Thank you so much for my team. Clap it up for my team. And thank you all for being here. Let's keep this going. And thank you everybody on Zoom as well. Everybody on Zoom. Thank you everybody on Zoom.
Please, everybody, we got some refreshments in the back. So we're gonna make sure you all get some refreshments. Please network. Will, raise your hand, man. This is Will. He's a financial coach. He can tell you different investments you need to get yourself into. Also, Mr. Sadiq has everything where health is concerned, and also Sadiq the trainer. Please utilize each other.
I was gonna say, so I work for an organization called Skills for Chicagoland.
Thank y'all for coming. We appreciate y'all.
For a job.